Hello everybody and welcome to Lost Odyssey, the reading section where I'm actually going to make up for last video because OBS Studio had a update for pretty much when I started streaming, and it ruined 2 of my videos because it actually messed with my audio settings, and I actually had no idea that I had double audio on my 2 most recent videos, which was Lost Odyssey Part 1 Remake as well as Sakuna of Rice and Ruin Part 4. Even though I had an excellent time during both of those videos, I was very upset to find out that I had double audio, so this is my way of telling for sure that things are going to work properly for the next time. So this time we're going to actually take a little bit of time to read into Kaim's story, because he has something called the 1,000-Year Dreams. It's basically the stories that I mentioned in Part 1 video. There's only a few of them that are actually worth reading, as there are very, very many of these. I mean, like, there's got to be at least, like, a good 30 of them. But honestly, I'm only going to read a few, because only a few of them are actually worth it. So we're going to do something called Hannah's Departure. I hope you guys enjoy the storyline for Hannah's Departure. We'll have to find a nice proper spot for this. And yeah, this will be one of the stories for me to make up for you guys. Alright, sound good? And aside from that, I like to sit back and thank you guys ahead of time for always liking and subscribing to my YouTube and Twitch channel, and as well as those of you who follow and subscribe my Twitch and YouTube channel as well. Alright, well, this one is called Hannah's Departure. It is one of the first memories we unlock for Lost Odyssey, and it's probably one of the best ones, honestly. There is only very few of them that were actually worth reading, so I hope you enjoy this. And hopefully the audio is actually not doubling this time. I'll actually be sure to check it. So give me 1 second. Yeah, seems like we have fixed the audio issue, so thankfully that's done. Alright, good. Welcome to Hannah's Departure. The family members have tears in their eyes when they welcome Kaim back to the inn from his long journey. Thank you so much for coming. He understands the situation immediately. The time for departure is drawing near. Too soon, too soon. But still he knows this day would have come sometime, and not in the distant future. I might not ever see you again, she said to him with a sad smile when he left on his journey, her smiling face almost transparent in its whiteness, so fragile and therefore indescribably beautiful as she lay in bed. May I see Hannah now? He asks. The innkeeper gives him a tiny nod and says, I don't think she will know who you are, though. She hasn't opened her eyes since last night. He warns Kaim. You can tell from the movement in her chest that she is clinging to a frail thread of life. But it could be any moment. It's such a shame. I know you made a special point to come here for her. Another tear glides down the wife's cheek. Never mind. It's fine, Kaim says. He has been present at innumerable deaths, and his experience has taught him much. Death takes away the power of speech first of all, then the ability to see. What remains alive to the very end, however, is the power to hear. Even though the person has lost consciousness, it is by no means unusual for the voices of family to bring forth smiles or tears. Kaim puts his arm around the woman's shoulder and says, I have lots of travel stories to tell her. I've been looking forward to this my whole time on the road. Instead of smiling, the woman releases another tear and nods to Kaim. And Hannah was so looking forward to hearing your stories. Her sobs almost drown out her words. I might have to actually just go straight to pure audio on this one. Because honestly, it's like hard to maneuver around this. The innkeeper says, I wish I could urge you to rest up from your travels before you see her. But Kaim interrupts his apologies. Of course I'll see her right away. There is very little time left. Hannah, the only daughter of the innkeeper and his wife, will probably breathe her last breath before the sun comes up. Kaim lowers his pack to the floor and quietly opens the door to Hannah's room. Hannah was frail from birth. Far from enjoying the opportunity to travel, she rarely left the town, or even the neighborhood in which she was born and raised. This child will probably not live to adulthood, the doctor told her parents. To this tiny girl with extraordinary, beautiful, doll-like features, the gods had dealt an all too sad destiny. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to go pure straight to audio, because honestly, this is getting a little hard to maneuver around. That they allowed her to be born the only daughter of the innkeepers of a small inn by the highway was perhaps one small act of atonement for such iniquity. Hannah was unable to go anywhere, but the guests who stayed at her parents' inn would tell her stories of the countries and towns and landscapes and people that she would never know. Whenever new guests arrive at the inn, Hannah would ask them, "Where are you from? Where are you going? Can you tell me a story?" She would sit and listen to their stories with sparkling eyes, urging them onto new episodes with, and then. When they left the inn, she would beg them, "Please come back and tell me lots and lots of stories about faraway countries." She would stand there waving until the person disappeared far down the highway, give one lonely sigh, and go back to bed. Hannah is sound asleep. No one else is in the room. Perhaps an indication that she has long since passed the stage when the doctor can do anything for her. Kaim sits down in the chair next to the bed and says with a smile, "Hello, Hannah, I'm back." She does not respond. Her little chest, still without the swelling of a grown woman, rises and falls almost imperceptibly. "I went far across the ocean this time," he tells her. "The ocean on the side where the sun comes up. I took a boat from the harbor way, way, way far beyond the mountain you can see from this window. And I was on the sea from the time the moon was perfectly round, till it got smaller and smaller, and then bigger and bigger, until it was full again. There was nothing but the ocean as far as the eye could see. Just the sea and the sky. Can you imagine it, Hannah? You've never seen the ocean, but I'm sure people have told you about it. It's like a huge, big, endless puddle. Kaim chuckles to himself, and it seems to him that Hannah's pale white cheek moves slightly. She can hear him, even if she cannot speak or see. Her ears are still alive, believing and hoping this to be true. Kaim continues with the story of his travels. He speaks no words of parting. As always with Hannah, Kaim smiles with a special gentleness he has never shown to anyone else. And he goes on telling his tales with a bright voice, sometimes even accompanying his story with exaggerating gestures. He tells her about the blue ocean. He tells her about the blue sky. He says nothing about the violent sea battle that stained the ocean red. He never tells her about those things. Hannah was still a tiny girl when Kaim first visited the inn. When she asked him, "Where are you from? And will you tell me some stories?" With her childish pronunciation and innocent smile, Kaim felt a soft glow in his chest. At the time, he was returning from a battle. More precisely, he had ended one battle and was on his way to the next. His life consisted of traveling from one battlefield to another, and nothing about that has changed to this day. He has taken the lives of countless enemy troops and witnessed the deaths of countless comrades on the battlefield. Moreover, the only thing separating enemies from comrades is the slightest stroke of fortune. Had the gears of destiny turned in the slightly different way, his enemies would have been comrades, and his comrades' enemies. And this is the fate of a mercenary. He was spiritually worn down back then, and eventually unbearably lonely. As a possessor of eternal life, Kaim had no fear of death, which was precisely why each of the soldiers' faces distorted in fear, and why each face of a man who died in agony was burned permanently into his brain. Ordinarily, he would spend nights on the road drinking, immersing himself in an alcoholic stupor, or pretending to. He was trying to make himself forget the unforgettable. When, however, he saw Hannah smile as she begged him for stories about his long journey, he felt a warmer and deeper comfort than he could ever obtain from liquor. He told her many things about a beautiful flower he discovered on the battlefield, about the bewitching beauty of the mist filling the forest the night before the final battle, about the marvelous taste of spring water in the ravine where he and his men had fled after a losing battle, about a vast bottomless blue sky he saw after a battle. He would never tell her anything sad. He kept his mouth shut about the human ugliness and the things witnessed endlessly on the battlefield. He concealed his position as a mercenary from her, kept silent regarding his reasons for traveling constantly, and spoke only of things that were beautiful and sweet and lovely. He sees now that he told Hannah only beautiful stories of the road like this, not so much out of concern for her purity, or for his own sake. Staying in the inn where Hannah waited to see him turned out to be one of Kaim's small pleasures in life. Telling her about the memories he brought back from his journeys, he felt some degree of salvation, however slight. 5 years, 10 years, his friendship with the girl continued. Little by little, she neared adulthood, which meant that, as the doctors had predicted, each day brought her that much closer to death. And now, Kaim ends the last travel story he will share with her. He can never see her again, can never tell her stories again. Before dawn, when the darkness of night is at its deepest, long pauses enter into Hannah's breathing. The frail thread of her life is about to snap as Kaim and her parents watch over her. The tiny light that has lodged in Kaim's breast will be extinguished. His lonely travels will begin again tomorrow. His long, long travels without end. You'll be leaving on your travels of your own soon, Hannah, Kaim tells her gently. You'll be leaving for a world that no one knows. A world that has never entered into any of the stories that you have heard so far. Finally, you will be able to leave your bed and walk anywhere you want to go. You'll be free. He wants her to know that death is not a sorrow, but a joy mixed with tears. It's your turn now. Be sure to tell everyone about the memories of your journey. Her parents will make that same journey someday, and someday Hannah will be able to meet all the guests she has known at the inn far beyond the sky. I, however, can never go there. I could never escape this world. I can never see you again. This is not goodbye. It's just the start of your journey. He speaks his final words to her. We'll meet again. His final lie to her. Hannah makes her departure. Her face is transfused with a tranquil smile, as if she had just said, "See you soon." Her eyes will never open again. A single tear glides slowly down her cheek. And that was Hannah's departure. That was a very, very sad story. We'll maybe read one more. Sound good to you guys? We'll maybe read one more memory. That one was a little fast. Thought it was a little bit longer. This one is known as the Upstreamers. Strong winds have always blown across this vast, grassy plain. Perhaps the area's topography has something to do with it, but the direction of the wind remains constant, irrespective of the time or season, from east to west, from the horizon where the sun rises to where the horizon to the horizon where the sun sets. Swept by the uneasing winds, the misshapen trunks and branches of shrubs all incline to the west. Tall grasses do not grow here, and the grasses that do grow all lie flat on the ground, bending westward. Caravans and herding folk traverse the single road that crosses the plain. They do not come and go. They only go, moving from east to west, using the wind at their backs to gain distance. Travelers headed west to east, always using the circuitous route that snakes around the southern mountains. It is much farther away that way, but much faster than crossing the plain head on into the wind. The road across the plain is called the wind stream. Just as the flow of a great river never changes direction, the footsteps of those who use the road have not changed direction since the distant past, nor are they likely to change far into the distant future, from east to west. Human shapes that appear from the horizon where the sun rises disappear over the horizon where the sun sets. They never pass oncoming travelers, with only the rarest exceptions. The first time she passed Kaim on the wind stream, the girl was just an infant. So, was my grandmother alive then? In response to the girl's untroubled question, Kaim smiles and answers, she was. And I remember what a nice old lady she was too. Looking back down the road, the girl points towards the line of hills fading off into the distance. My grandmother crossed 7 hills on her journey. Is 7 a lot? Uh-huh. Grandma lived a long time. Most people end their journeys after 5 hills. The people they leave behind build a little grave where they ended their journey, and then they keep traveling. The girl points down at the ground where she was standing. This is as far as I've come, she says with a proud, happy smile. The religion of the girl and her family professes a pious belief that if they devote their lives to walking eastward against the flow of the wind stream, they will arrive at the easternmost source of the stream itself. People call believers in that religion the upstreamers. The word carries a hint of fear and sadness, but also a trace of contempt and scorn. The upstreamers are devoid of worldly desires. They live their lives for no greater purpose than traveling eastward on foot. They are free of doubt. They give birth to children en route, and they continue their journeys while raising their children. When they age and their strength gives out, their journey ends. But their family's journey continues. From child to grandmother to great-grandchild, their belief is carried on. The journey of this girl's family was begun by her late grandmother, who began walking from the Windstream's western verge with her son, who was then the age the girl is now. The upstreamers do not walk for the entire year, of course. During the season, when the winds are especially strong, from late autumn to early spring, they take up residence in various post towns scattered along the road and earn day wages by performing tasks that the townsfolk themselves refuse to do. Some upstreamers choose to stay in the towns, while others, conversely, take townspeople with them when they return to the road in the spring. These are people with whom they have fallen in love during the long winter, or the boys who travel, or boys who dream of travel, or grown-ups who have tired of town life. Such are the reasons the townsfolk look upon the upstreamers with complicated gazes. The little girl's mother was one of those who joined the journey midway, and the girl herself, some years from now, might fall in love with someone in a post town somewhere. She might choose to live in the town, or she could just as well invite her lover to join her on the road. She has no idea at this point what lies in store for her. The girl's father calls out to her. Time to go. Their brief rest is over. She seems sorry to leave and stand up reluctantly. Too bad, she says. I wish I could have talked with you more. But we have to get to the next town by the time the snow starts. Constantly exposed to headwinds, her cheeks are red and cracked, her lips chapped, but her smile is wonderful as she wishes Kaim a safe journey. It is the serene smile of one who believes completely in the purpose of her life, without the slightest doubt. Will I see you again somewhere, she asks. Probably, Kaim answers, smiling back at her. But he can never match that smile of hers. He is now in the midst of a journey that will take him beyond the western end of the Windstream. He heads to the battlefield as a mercenary, and by the time the western battle is over, a new battle will have begun in the east. It will be a long, cruel journey, with nothing to believe in. When he meets the girl again along the way, Kaim's smile will have taken on even more shadows than it has now. Perhaps as a parting gift of sorts, the girl sings a few short lines for him. This wind, where does it blow from? Where does it start its journey here? Does it come from where life begins, or does it begin where life ends? Goodbye then, the girl says, trudging on, one labored step at a time, her hair streaming in the headwind. Ten long years have flowed by when Kaim next meets the girl. It is spring, when the grassland is dotted with lovely white flowers. She has become the wife of a young man who does tailoring and shoe repair in one of the post towns. "This is my third spring here," she says, patting her swollen belly fondly. "In a few days, she will give birth to a child. She will become a mother." "And your parents?" Kaim asks. She shrugs and glances eastward. "They are continuing their journey. I'm the only one who stayed on here." Kaim does not ask why she has done this. Continuing the journey is one way to live, and staying in a town is another. Neither can be judged to be more correct than the other. The only answer for the girl can be seen in her smiling face. "But never mind about me," she says, looking at him suspiciously. "You haven't changed one little bit from the time we met so long ago. For the 1,000-year-old Kaim, 10 years is nothing but a change in season." "Some lives are like that," he says, straining to smile. "Some people in this world can never grow old, no matter how long they live." He looks at the girl, now grown into a woman, and wonders again. Living through endless ages of time, is it a blessing or a curse? Kaim's remark hardly counts as an explanation, but the girl nods with a look of apparent understanding. "If that's the case," she says, "you should be the one who goes to the place where the wind begins. You'd be the perfect upstreamer." She could be right after all. The lifespan given to humans is far too short for anyone to travel against the flow of the wind stream, as far as the starting point of the wind. Still, Kaim responds with a few slow head shakes of his head. "I'm not qualified to make the journey." "No, anybody can be an upstreamer. Anybody, that is. Who wants to see where the wind starts with his or her own eyes?" Having said this, however, the girl adds with a touch of sadness, "No one has actually seen it though, I guess." The place where the wind begins, that place is nowhere at all. Even if, after a long journey, one were to arrive at the eastern end of the wind stream, the wind would be blowing there too. And not just an east wind, west wind, north wind, south wind, winds without limit, without end. Human beings who cannot live forever, daring to take a journey without end. This might be the ultimate tragedy. But it could just as well be the ultimate comedy. Kaim knows one thing, however. One cannot simply dismiss it as an exercise in futility. "How about you?" he asks the girl. "Aren't you going to continue your journey soon?" She thinks about this for the space of a breath end, caressing her swollen belly. She cocks her head and says, "I wonder. I might want to go on living the way I am now, forever. Or then again, I might feel the desire to reach the starting point of the wind." All the upstreamers, without exception, say that you can never know what might trigger a return to the journey One day, without warning, you slow off the entire town life and start walking. It is not always a matter of running into an upstreamer and being lured back to the road. Plenty of people set out on their own all of a sudden. The teachings of the upstreamers say that all human beings harbor a desire for endless travel. They probably are not aware of the desire because it is stashed away so far down in the breast that it is deeper than memory. The instant something brings it to the surface, a person becomes an upstreamer. Even you have the desire, the girl says to Kaim. I wonder... It's true, she says. No question. The look in her eyes is as straight on and free of doubt as it was the last time he met her. Fixing him with that look, she points to her own chest. I have not completely lost it myself, but I'm sure you're happy with your present life. Of course I am. Do you really think the day will come when you will want to set out on the journey, even if it means giving up the happiness? Instead of answering, she gives him a gentle smile. Many years flow by, but every now and then, something reminds Kaim of the girl's words that everyone harbors a desire for endless travel. For Kaim, living itself is a journey without end. In the course of his journey, he has witnessed countless deaths, and he has also witnessed countless births. Human life is all too short, too weak, and fleeting. Yet the more he dwells upon its evanescence, the more he feels, inexplicably, that words shall as eternal and perpetual apply more properly to life, finite as it is, than to anything else. Traveling down the wind stream for the first time in many years, Kaim spies the funeral of an upstreamer. A young boy in mourning dress stands by the road, holding out windflowers to passing travelers and urging them to offer up a flower to a noble soul who has made the long journey this far. Kaim takes the flower and asks the boy, "Is it a member of your family?" "Uh-huh. My grandma." The boy nods, his face the image of one Kaim knew so long ago. The old woman lying in the coffin must be the girl. Kaim is sure of it. Grandma traveled a long time. She brought my daddy with her when she was just a little boy. When he was just a little boy. See that hill over there? She started walking from it, way beyond it, and she got all the way here. So the girl must have set out on her own journey after all, turning her back on the town life, leading her child by hand. She trod her way along the endless journey. Her wish to aim for the place where the wind begins would be passed on to her child, her grandchild, and on through succeeding generations to head for a land one could never hope to reach, and to do so generation after generation. This is another endless journey. Is it tragedy? A comedy? Perhaps the serene smile on the face of the old woman in the coffin is the answer. Kaim lays the flower at her feet as an offering. The family members who have traveled with her join together in a song for the departed. This wind, where does it blow from? Where does it start its journey here? Where does it come from? Where life begins? Or does it begin where life ends? The wind blows. It sweeps across the vast grassland. Kaim takes one long, slow step towards his destination. Have a good trip, calls the boy. Red and cracked as the girl's were so long ago. His cheeks soften in a smile as he waves to the departing traveler. The end. I think that's pretty much all the stories that we have for tonight. Yep, it seems to be all the stories we have for tonight. And well, now we get to see if everything turned out well. You'll have to forgive me for those of you who saw my most recent 2 videos. Before I started streaming, there was an OBS update and it kind of overrided some of my audio settings and changed up some of the user interface, and it looked a little strange to me. And it just happens that some of the audio was doubled for 2 videos straight, which botched both videos, but it wasn't as bad on Sakuna of Rice and Ruin. It was just more so bad on Lost Odyssey's Remake Part 1 video, which is quite upsetting given it is the very first video, but, you know, at least all the other ones will be good. And this will be a good way for me to test it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the storytelling, and now I can officially call it a night and go eat some food and stuff. I'll see you guys in another video in the future, and I hope that you guys have a good night. Thank you for joining me on Lost Odyssey's Interception video, where I just read about Kaim's memories. Good night, people.